Welcome back to the Out of Bounds podcast. I am Charlie Calieri alongside
Gavin Williams.
And today we'll be discussing week 14 of the NFL season. It's crazy that week 14 is already by us. I keep saying this every week. And week 15 is upon us.
No more bye weeks.
No more bye weeks. Everybody's evened out now. Sad to say, though, this will be our last NFL episode of the semester. But stay tuned because we do have 2 more episodes after this one for the ending of season 6 until we go on a little bit of a hiatus over Christmas break, and then we come back stronger than ever for season 7. Got some stuff in the works. It's gonna be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Shout out to Scott Sackett. We got some things cooking right now.
We do. I told Charlie this before the episode today. It is the most, in my opinion, satisfying week in football every year is week 15. There's no more bye weeks. Everybody has played the same number of games, finally. Everybody's stat sheets look better. It's just one of my favorite weeks in football just because, except for week 1 to week 3, everybody has the same exact amount of games played. It's about time. I hate bye weeks, but every team does deserve one. I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm just saying I don't like how the numbers don't add up till week 14, but hey, we're here week 15. How we doing?
Yeah, and let's start off right now with some news around the league from the last week. And most notably, one team that we've talked about this whole season and hyped up this whole season.
A lot.
And really have believed in this whole season, as have their fans, as have their ownership now, as have the players. The Indianapolis Colts have been dealt another tough hand this season with Daniel Jones, the savior of the team from where they were last year to where they are now. A big factor of that was Daniel Jones. He goes down now with a season-ending Achilles injury. Might be his last game ever as a Colt.
Yeah.
He's a free agent after this year, so he might be out the whole next season as a free agent, sitting on the couch or with the team. Maybe back with the Colts rehabbing for the year if that's a scenario there. But they ran into some sticky situation here where Anthony Richardson obviously hurt and out for an extended period of time here too, and Riley Leonard, who came in that game, got banged up a little bit in that game as well and was week to week at the time earlier in this week. And then there were some rumblings about a guy, and he's a guy.
A grandfather
coming out of retirement, and he has. And I thought this guy was going to be on the NFL ballot, a Hall of Fame ballot, I think next year.
Semifinalist.
Or this year he was, right? I'm pretty sure, or something like that. But Phillip Rivers will be back in the rotation for the Colts at quarterback. It's just crazy to say. Crazy to say from seeing his last game in Buffalo against the Bills in that playoff game, the COVID year,
the wild
2020 wild card round, you're right. And now he's back with the Colts. So pretty cool, but really interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen interviews, press conferences, or anything. One reporter asked him, "Hey, Phil, how much do you weigh?" And he said, "Hey, I'm not sure, Greg." Whole place goes crazy. I don't ever bring up weight or anything into this podcast because it doesn't belong here, but I'm just going to say he does not look like he's in football shape. That's what I will say. And I know his game, his legacy has been in the pocket, which is his brand of football, which he will be in the pocket for the entire time if he is on that field. But I just hope he doesn't tear more of his legacy like he did in Indy the first time. He kind of tore away a page or two in his legacy. I just hope.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I feel like, yes, he did a little bit of his legacy was like tarnished, right? But I feel like, any great quarterback, I think, you see a great example in today's world with Russell Wilson, how, he's kind of been a prolonged kind of, his was a sharp decline, way sharper than Phillip Rivers ever was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Russell's still in a position where he's had 5 or 3 to 5 bad years in a row. Phillip Rivers never really had that.
That's true.
He really only had 1 or maybe 2 where his arm really just started to give out at the end there.
Yeah.
Not sure how that's really going to go now because I'm sure his mind's still there. I'm sure he can still make the great decisions and move the ball where he wants to go, but can the ball get there? That's really the deciding factor.
We'll even see if he plays a game. I mean, he's signed to the roster, but who knows if he even plays a game.
He's on the practice squad right now. I'm pretty sure he'll obviously be probably activated to their active roster for Sunday's game. But Riley Leonard, I think, is slotted in to start that game.
I think he is.
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure for the Colts. But just really interesting
I just
stuff
want to
there.
see now that he's signed. Go let him play some ball. I just want to go see it now.
I think that'd be pretty cool. I think a lot of NFL fans would love to see that, me included. Not
Yeah.
sure how Colts fans would like to see that. Kind of some mixed reviews from our Colts correspondent, but
Yeah.
overall, just interesting. And Phillip Rivers is back in the NFL. That's pretty cool to say.
We love Phil. We love Phil.
And then moving on now to just an interesting storyline that we have developing here this season. It's going to be a weird time in the AFC playoffs.
Come January, man.
Not seeing the Chiefs in it potentially. More likely than not, the Chiefs will not be in the playoffs.
They would have to win out.
They would have to win out and have a lot of help along the way. But the Chiefs right now sitting at 6-7. That's their record. But right now they're on the outside looking in. I don't see them getting in. It's going to be really like if you really thought about this, it has been since we were in what grade is that?
10th grade.
4th grade.
What?
4th grade since they were out of the playoffs. The Chiefs.
Chiefs?
The Chiefs.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was like
13 straight years,
2015,
I think,
right?
in the playoffs, yes. Alex Smith.
Ooh, yeah,
Jamal
he
Charles,
did.
all those
Yeah,
teams.
Wow.
Still riding from that. They've won
Ooh.
9 straight divisions
Yeah.
up to this point.
Yeah.
Something else of note. I mean, we haven't seen Mahomes out of the playoffs. I mean, just a lot of firsts for this Kansas City team that you haven't seen a lot for other teams. You've seen it kind of with the Bills in that 1 year, 2018, Allen's rookie year. But other than that, you haven't seen a year like that the Chiefs have this year. Obviously, they've done some stuff in between that we have not. But at the same time, it really makes you wonder how they structured that team and if they structured it in the wrong decision. Personally, I think it started with re-signing Chris Jones. He never really wanted to, not saying he really never wanted to be there, but he never really had the driving force that I think some other guys had or have. Especially after winning some of the championships, he really definitely lost his drive to win.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Taking a lot of the money, taking a lot of salary cap room on that team, which is really diminishing their offense now, we see, too. Rashee Rice obviously being out for the first few weeks.
First 6 games.
Definitely hindered that team. The running back rotation has been really interesting and injured all year.
I don't know. I always wondered, starting last season, but specifically this season, why we're taking the ball out of Pacheco's hands. I thought when he was their number 1 back, he proved it, and he was a stud for that team. One of the reasons why they were so good.
I still think he has a lingering injury. He's been kind of hurt the whole year, but I still don't understand why, if he's going to play in the game, either just sit him or don't.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have him stewed up on the sideline, have him be your starter, not a 30-year-old Kareem Hunt, which I know he's been playing well, but there's a way, and they know a way, and they've done it with those two specifically.
Yeah.
A way to work both of them in the backfield, and they just decided not to.
It's
and it's really
frustrating.
cost them their season, honestly.
It really has.
A lot of this also has to do with they were down a lot earlier in games than before.
Yep.
They weren't winning those one-score games like they were last year every single time.
Yep.
So a lot of that also plays into it. I think a lot of it also plays into the factor of Travis Kelce not being at the same level that he was. We saw
He's got to call it, man.
in that game last week where he basically he dropped that ball, cost them the game.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. And that's kind of a microcosm of their season, I guess, is Patrick Mahomes throwing a good ball. And he's been great all year. I don't think anybody can really dispute that once again.
Yeah.
But it's just the people around him have not supported him how he has supported them, I guess.
Yeah.
In the Chiefs now sitting
They're
on the outside
looking in. And
so.
I mean, I guess I don't really have too much to add there. You cover everything that basically I was going to add. Other than that, I mean, I just think that it's a very disappointing year for this Kansas City Chiefs team, looking to rebound off that Super Bowl loss, trying to make something of the season, and it's a wash. I mean, let's be honest. Even if they win out, if they do make the playoffs, I don't think I see them winning a game in general.
Yeah, their draft pick's not even going to be that great either, so it's kind of just a weird it's a great ideal scenario for fans like me who
every
Bills
other
fans
AFC
fans where they just barely missed the playoffs and especially because nobody got hurt along the way too. I mean, I've always been saying, like, you know, you want to beat a team, you know, at their best. You know, like those years when I think it was 2 years in a row that Mahomes was questionable to go into the playoff game against us, and I was like, I want to play him. Like, I don't want to play Chad Henne or whoever their backup is, because, you know, you want when you beat if you do, and you know we haven't done it, but if you do beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, you want to beat the best. I mean, you want to beat Mahomes, and if we didn't win against Mahomes and we won against Chad Henne or Blaine Gabbert, that's all that would be talked about forever.
Yeah,
so
it would be called a Mickey Mouse run.
So I'm glad that along the way, I guess he didn't get hurt, but they're still kind of underperforming, I guess, in a sense. So, but that's enough Chiefs talk for today. Definitely done with that. Let's shift to the good guys, the Buffalo Bills. I'll just touch on the game last week a little bit. Wow. Just what another game. And especially what a huge second half. What a fourth quarter. Christian Bedford specifically once again scoring a touchdown. It's just what a game. I mean, I was really nervous obviously at the start. I said it last week. I knew that the Bengals were going to put up a fight, especially put up points
offensively
on us. Yeah, you knew that they were going to put up points. You knew that T. Higgins was going to have a day. Jamar Chase didn't do as much as you thought he would, but Chase Brown had a nice game. Mike Gesicki had a nice game, and T. Higgins had a great game. All leading the charge for them, and obviously Joe Burrow, besides those 2 plays in a row, had a phenomenal game, honestly. But those 2 plays in the fourth quarter, starting with the Christian Bedford pick 6, which was one of the best, most electric Bills plays I've seen since maybe the Taron Johnson pick 6, maybe.
Okay.
Honestly, I never see if that Taron Johnson, just to keep this in mind, that play happened when there was about 10% of the fans in the stadium, and it was still super loud.
Yeah.
So could you imagine it with 90% more of the fans in there in a playoff game, picking off Lamar? Oh my God. But anyway, back to reality now. Christian Bedford returning that. It was just electric, and then A.J. Epinesa on the next play making a play, recovering that fumble. But, going on to win that game, the boys showed up when it really mattered. They were clutch. The tight ends had a great game. This is something I really wanted to point out. Spencer Hawes, Dawson Knox especially, and Dalton Kincaid back from injury. All 3 had a great game in their own different ways. If you want to include Reggie Gilliam in that talk, you can as well. I'm not opposed to that. But Jackson Hawes, receiving wise, blocking wise, had a great game. Dawson Knox had a few amazing catches. He was our leading receiver, I'm pretty sure, in this game as well. And then Dalton Kincaid, just with some clutch catches, man. Really proud of how this team has battled back from the last few weeks. Really could have dug a hole after that Miami game, but we've climbed out of it, and we really solidified ourselves back potentially back in this divisional race, but really solidifying ourselves as a playoff team last week with that win was just absolutely massive, beating both those teams. So now on to the biggest game of our season this year, and I'm really excited to play the Patriots.
Yeah, that'll be super exciting. I have 2 quick things to say. Charlie.
Gavin.
Bills are 9-4.
Yes, they are.
All 4 losses and a couple sprinkled in wins. We've blamed a guy specifically, and can you guess who it is?
Are you talking about Sean McDermott?
No.
Oh.
Joe Brady.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes.
We've brought him up a lot.
I have. That should have been my first guess. Yeah. That should have been my first guess. Because I'm a big D backer.
You are. So. And we've brought up Joe Brady plenty of times in this podcast. And I think I saw this stat. The Buffalo Bills. 7 games scoring 30-plus points this season, which is tied for most in the NFL. Maybe we got to stop with the Joe Brady talk. But this is another thing. I wasn't done. My favorite thing ever that I watched in this game on Sunday, just because I knew what Connell Williams was doing in the town of New Hartford, his least favorite play the Buffalo Bills run is called a bubble screen, okay? And it was a 3rd down and 4, and there was a bubble screen that got tackled for a 4th down, and I could just picture him screaming his mind off about this bubble screen. It makes me laugh every time you guys run one, to be honest. And I'm going to be very honest here. I'm going to go into my second point. I was a Bengals fan this weekend. And the reason being is I love Joe Burrow. I love the 2019 everything LSU Tigers. So having 2 of the biggest guys on that team be on the same team, I might be I'm not adopting the Bengals as my AFC team, but they're top 2. They're up there with the Chargers. I love both those teams a ton. But I just have this different love I have for the Bengals. And Mike Gesicki scores a touchdown with 8:44 left in the 4th quarter. Obviously, Bills fans are feeling all sorts of ways. And I got really excited.
That guy kills us, by the way.
He does.
Mike Gesicki for years has been a thorn in our side, and somebody that if you ask a lot of Bills fans, so I guarantee if you ask like probably 15 Bills fans what their least favorite player is, I think you might get a Mike Gesicki out of one of them.
All right, I like that.
I think you might.
But I love this fiery edge from Mike Gesicki, and at this point, Joe Burrow was playing almost flawless ball. Right, so I'm getting hype. I have Joe Burrow on my fantasy team. I'm going nuts. I have T. Higgins on my fantasy team. I'm having a great 1 o'clock window from one game. And I was a win-and-in situation, too, for fantasy. So what do? Charlie doesn't even... This is live. This is raw reaction from Charles right here. He has no idea I did this. I march... Pardon my language. I march my ass upstairs to my room. I reach in my closet. I grab something. I go downstairs. I go, Daddy Burrow's home, baby. And I have my belt in my hand. And I start whipping it. And I see the table in front of me. I have this belt in my hand. And I'm whipping the absolute bejesus out of this table. And I'm saying BTA, BTA, BTA. Because I'm just so fired up from Joe Burrow. He gets me a different type of feeling.
Can I ask you a question?
1 second. And my roommate, who is a diehard Patriots fan, shout out to Aiden Gould, Speed, goes, Gav, come on, there's 8 minutes left. I said, I don't care. Joe Burrow is dragging it across these Bills right now. And I was really hyped because you know what? It was fantasy that came in the moment.
Can I ask?
And that was just a funny story.
Can I ask the question?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Yeah, so this is what happened. The Bengals lost, and before the Packer game started, I needed to make sure that belt went right back into my closet because I couldn't have any karma for that game. So I raced upstairs. And then, it stayed in my room for the rest of the night. But, yeah. I just thought it was a funny story.
That's funny. It was one of those games where, you were like, this is going downhill quick. It reminded me and Ryan Taylor, shout out RT, it reminded us of a lot of that playoff game.
That's exactly what I was feeling in that moment,
snow
too.
coming down, the same uniform matchup, literally the same uniform matchup. It was kind of scary, actually. Crowd wasn't super into it.
Before the fourth,
I would say in the first half. Second half, something must have happened. The drum line must have been getting them going or something at halftime. Stampede, shout out Stampede. But, something clicked in that team. Something clicked in that defense. And that's what we need. Shaq Thompson, another great game. I want to point that out.
I got to point out that he's probably one of the craziest pickups you guys have had in years.
Unreal. I mean, just
opinion.
like it's one of those guys. And I just saw Eric Weddle on a podcast, and he was talking about, and I forgot about this, he was a starter on the Rams in their Super Bowl run.
He was.
He came out of retirement late in the season, I think around now, and he ended up starting every single play, and he played every single snap for that defense in that playoffs. And he made some huge plays. He made Rams fans apparently have this huge play that they know about from Eric Weddle, and they call it, I don't think they call it the tackle, but it's one of like the big tackles in their franchise history where I think it's on first down in the ending drive with the Bengals when they're driving down the field. It's a 9-yard pickup, and Eric Weddle comes across and tackles, I don't remember who it was. It was either Joe Mixon or Samaje Perine to stop him short of the line. And they ended up, the Bengals, getting stopped on 2nd and 1, getting stopped on 3rd and 1, eventually getting stopped on 4th and 1.
Yeah.
But it was because of that tackle from Eric Weddle not getting him across that line that allowed Aaron Donald to do what he did at the end and allowed the Rams to win that Super Bowl and not let the Bengals force overtime in that game. So just something there. And I'm not saying Shaq Thompson's going to do the same thing, but what I'm trying to get at is you need a veteran guy that comes in, and I think maybe we thought it'd be Jordan Poyer, but it turned out to be Shaq Thompson. So
I'm really
glad
proud
we got
of
that kind of archetype guy on the team, and I'm ready for this team to really get going in the playoffs now because every week from now on is basically a playoff week. So
absolutely. I mean, we're in,
and you know that for certain too, and you want to talk about your Packers, so get into it.
Charlie, I have a question for you to open up my talk.
All right.
What did I say the Packers were going to do on Sunday last week?
Well, you said they had to do something if they wanted to win.
And what was that?
Wake up with a hot piss.
And what did they do?
They woke up with a hot piss.
They woke up with some hot goddamn piss on Sunday, and I loved it. And you know what? This 1 o'clock window, it was an awesome window. I was so excited for this 4:25. We kick off. Defense gets to stop right away. I'm pumped. Jordan Love gets the ball. I'm like, it's Toyota-thon, baby. Let's get cooking. He throws a pick. I don't even know what the... Not going to swear again because I had my one per episode, I guess. No, I'm just playing. But I don't know what you're looking at in that moment. And I was pissed. All right? You're playing the biggest game of the season, and you open up the drive with a pick at home to take over the North? Come on, man. I mean, this is the come on, man segment of today. Come on, man. And then another 3 and out. We get the ball back and the rest. I mean, if you guys watch the game, it was just he had that pick, and then he turned it back to Toyotathon, and he finds guys like Christian Watson twice. Shout out Bo Melton getting in the end zone. I was very excited for that touchdown. And I want to bring up a guy, because you just brought up that Weddle story. Let me bring up a guy. Kingsley Enagbari. Okay? Slept on Packer. He's a slept on guy. If you don't know him, well, I hope you do now, but maybe you still don't know him. He's not the Micah Parsons. He's not the Rashawn Gary. He's a core guy that you need. And I remember on that huge sack on Caleb Williams in the first half, I was going nuts. I don't think I've ever gone crazier for a sack, because I have a different hatred for Caleb Williams compared to the other 2 starting quarterbacks in the NFC North. But, man, I was fired up. And then we were just bringing up that Eric Weddle moment. That was Kingsley Enagbari on 3rd down stuffs the run. Stuffed. And which set up for the Keyshawn Nixon game-winning interception. What a win. What a game. I mean, it's called the Black and Blue Division for a reason. That was a lot of bruises in that one. Shout out to Jordan Love, Toyotathon. Shout out to Christian Watson, 2 tutties on 4 catches. Shout out to Bo Melton. Have a day, kid.
Some gritty games back-to-back against some divisional opponents. I mean, that's just really what you want to see, especially when you're in a playoff race and in a divisional race.
Yeah, so I'm very, very, very happy about that win. A little close, but hey, that's what you get with division wins, especially against the 2 top guys.
It's never easy.
So,
never easy.
What a win. Go Pack, go. I'm fired up from this team. You got me feeling a different type of way. So, on to Denver, which we will get into in a little bit.
Yeah, and we will be getting into our final standings predictions, because this is the last NFL episode before the season is done, with 4 weeks left to go. We will be using our friends at playoffpredictors.com in a minute, though. But first, if you know what's about to happen, you're probably pretty excited. It is the FMVP and the MVP Week 14 edition, and the last one of the semester, presented by Gavin Williams.
Thank you. Here we go. All right, I know Charlie's going to love this FMVP right out of the gate, because he probably helped him this week. I know he has him on his team. He's brought a different energy. And there was one thing that as he scored his 2nd touchdown, I was screaming one word. And it was a word that Scotty Williams used to yell when I played lacrosse, and that's called wheels. Wheels! Wheels! 4 catches, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns, 20.9 in a PPR league. Christian Watson, congratulations. You are the Week 15 Fantasy MVP. Now going on to a guy.
He definitely did help me. He had a great week this week.
He did. Now going on to a guy who loves to play in rivalry matches, rivalry games against the biggest game of the season you have. And you go out there and you throw for 284 yards. You throw a touchdown. But the most important thing is you run in for a touchdown and you show the belt. You show the discount, double check, the belt. You show everybody in the world who you still are. If you don't know who I'm talking about, wake up, guys. It's my guy, Aaron Rodgers, baby. The Week 15 MVP. When I saw him break out the belt, I said, if they win this game, I don't care what his stats are, he is going to be my MVP. So, Aaron Rodgers, congratulations. Show the belt. You're still that dog. You're still that guy. I love you, A-Rod. Have a day, kid.
How many times have I disagreed with you on your FMVP or MVP this year?
Not too many.
Not too many. I disagree with you heavily on this one. I don't know why, and I don't have a reasoning behind it, but this just seems like a biased week. This is a very biased week, and I think, honestly, Gavin Williams, I think this is one of your most poor performances in the FMVP and MVP segment on this show. But nonetheless, Christian Watson is the fantasy MVP. And Aaron Rodgers is your MVP for Week 14. Wow.
15.
No,
It was week 14.
14,
I think the whole time I was talking about this whole thing, I said week 15 like 4 times. I'm sorry, guys. Week 14. I'm a little ahead of myself today. Shout out to Luke Strasburger. I wasn't going to get ahead of myself, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Wow.
Moving on now to that was electric. Moving on to our good friends once again, like I alluded to, our friends at playoffpredictors.com.
Shout out.
We will be going through all the way to the end and telling you guys who's going to be in, the seeding, those records, and yeah, maybe not the individual matchups of, because it's 4 weeks of games, so, we don't want to spoil our picks, which will be on our Instagram.
At Out of Bounds Podcast with a dot between every single word.
Yes, it is, Gavin. But to start off here, Gavin, I just want to go through all of these divisions and see who you and I both have winning them. So
let's do it.
Let's start out, and I just want to point this out in my scenario here. Me and Gavin both did this. I have, I have 3 games right here that are for the division, and 4, like specifically between those 2 teams.
Yeah.
And 4 of them that imply either winning or losing the division based on the outcome for one of the teams and missing the playoffs for a team that's not in that game as well.
Okay.
And for some of these also, it could be the team missing the playoffs or just having some worse seeding.
So you go in division then to the conference?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you'll know because I actually don't have these games picked right now.
Oh,
but
wow.
when we go through the divisions, I will pick them just and show you the comparison between when I choose one of the teams and when I choose the other team.
Yeah,
so,
I like that.
Let's start in the AFC West.
Okay.
As it is listed on here. And who do you have at the top of that division?
Do I mention the record?
Just the teams that are in the playoffs and their record and their seed.
Okay, so in the AFC West, I have 2 teams making the playoffs. If you get that, you know who's cut out. So I have the Denver Broncos at 13-4, at 5-1 in the division. And I have the Los Angeles Chargers at the 7 seed with a record of 10-7. With also a division record of 5-1.
Okay, so I have the same 2 teams, but this is a game where it sets up as win and you win the division game.
Whoa.
So, which is nuts. So, basically with this scenario, with all the teams that I have, if Denver wins this game, they're the 1 seed, 14-3, top of the AFC West. Chargers are the 6 seed. In the scenario, if the Chargers win this game, they are the 1 seed. At 13-4, and the Broncos are the 6th seed at 13-4.
Whoa.
Wouldn't that be nuts?
That'd be nuts.
Wouldn't that be nuts? Okay, so for this sake, I'm going to have the Broncos winning that, and they're going to be the 1 seed.
Okay.
Move on now to the AFC East. That's crazy. So that's first little crazy bomb right there.
Yeah.
AFC East, I have the Patriots as the 2 seed, unfortunately, at 13-4, and the Bills as the 5 seed, also at 13-4. So that game looming large back in Buffalo.
I have the New England Patriots as my number 1 seed in the entire NFL, probably. I don't know how the math works, but with a record of 14-3, division record, get the brooms out, sweep, 6-0. Then we have the Buffalo Bills sneaking in there at the 6th seed at 12-5 with a record in the division of 3-3. Not where they wanted to be this season, but they still made it. That's all that matters at the end of the day.
AFC South now. I have the Jags at 3 seed at 12-5, and the Texans sneaking in as the 7th seed at 11-6. So the Colts sitting down there at 8-9 as the 10 seed, actually, not even the 9 seed.
I have the Colts at the 11th seed at 8-9, and I have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the number 2 seed at 13-4.
Wow.
13-4. And then we have the Houston Texans at 12-5, having that tiebreaker over the Buffalo Bills sitting pretty at the 5. So we have an interesting
Very interesting
one.
there, yeah.
Yeah. And I think now I'm glad you saved this division for last because this gets really interesting in mine.
And this is my other swing game that I have in the AFC. I have 2 in the AFC, 2 in the NFC. And this one sets up for simple as it's a win and in. And if you win, you're the 4 seed. If you lose, you're the 9. And one team, if the Ravens win, they'd be 10-7. So it looks a little bit better looks a little bit better. And the Steelers would lose their over 500 streak. They would sit at 8-9 in my predictions as well. And if the Steelers win, they would sit at 9-8, the 4 seed in that division in the playoffs, and the Ravens would be out at 9-8 in the 9 seed. So, just crazy. Just crazy.
I only have one team represented here from the AFC North. Oh, sorry. Did you say who you would have winning?
I would have the Ravens winning that because the Steelers won the first game. So I'm going to have the Ravens winning the second game and getting in the playoffs, even though it is in Pittsburgh.
It is. I have only one team represented, and then it's the most. It is the most Steeler-like fashion. They're 9-8 and they're in the playoffs at the 4 seed. And then you have two guys on the way out. You have the Ravens at 8-9 sitting at the 10 seed. And we have the Cincinnati Bengals at 8-9 sitting at the 8 seed.
Ooh. Okay, so let's recap our AFC real quick, 1 through 7.
Yep.
I have the Broncos at the 1 seed at 14-3, Patriots at 13-4 as the 2, Jags at 12-5 as the 3, Ravens at 10-7 as the 4, Bills at the 5, 13-4, Chargers at 12-5 as the 6, and the Texans at 11-6 as the 7 seed.
Wow. I mean, the more I look at my conference record, the more I hope it ends like this, because if it does, holy crap, we have great playoff matches in the way. Number 1 seed, New England Patriots, 14-3. Number 2, the Jacksonville Jaguars at 13-4. Number 3, the Denver Broncos at 13-4. The tiebreaker was conference record, if you were curious. At the 4 seed, the Pittsburgh Steelers at 9-8. The 5 seed with the tiebreaker over the Bills would be the Texans. So 6 seed would be the Bills, and 7 seed would be the Chargers.
That'd be a terrible scenario for the Bills.
You guys would be playing in Denver.
Terrible scenario. Let's move on to the NFC now. This is where it gets really interesting. Starting the NFC West, I have 3 teams getting in the playoffs, and this is another one that sets up as a win and in scenario here, and it's pretty interesting. So, as it sits right now, I have the Seahawks at 13-3 and the Niners at 12-4.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams are right in the middle of them at 13-4.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So if the Niners win that game at home, in this scenario, they would be the 1 seed.
Wow.
In my scenario. If the Seahawks win, they would be the 1 seed. So it's setting up the same way that Sam Darnold did last year with the Vikings.
Yeah, that's
so
actually very
true. You're the 1 seed or you're the 5 seed.
Yeah, okay.
And I think in this scenario, it's going to end up the same way for Sam Darnold. And the Niners are somehow, some way, with all their injuries, going to end up as the 1 seed this year in the NFC at 13-4. The Rams behind them, losing that tiebreaker somehow in there with the games that I chose, sitting at the 5 seed at 13-4. And then also the Seahawks at 13-4 at the 6 seed. So 3 teams at 13-4 in that division. The Niners going 5-1 in the division, the Rams going 4-2, and the Seahawks going 3-3. Ultimately, that's the deciding factor in this seeding right there.
And this, I have the Rams as the number 1 seed in the NFC with a record of 14-3. And then we have the Seahawks sneaking in there at 13-4, which also have a 3-3 division record. And the Niners sneaking in as the 6th seed. So we have 1-5-6. Boom, boom, boom. With a 12-5 record, 4-2 in the division. So we get pretty interesting there. The deciding factor for that one also was the Rams-Seahawks game. So
that's wow. Yeah, that's gonna be a big one coming up on Thursday night.
It is.
Pretty sure week 16.
Yep.
Now onto the NFC North. This is my other division that was a win and in scenario, and the one that was not directly correlated, but it's the Lions and Bears game will be the deciding factor for the Green Bay Packers as well in their fight to get into the playoffs. In this scenario, right now the Packers are on the outside looking in as the 8 seed, and the Lions are in as the 7 seed at 10-6. So basically that means that either the Bears, if they win that game, Packers fans would have to be Bears fans that day. The Bears fans would get the 2 seed at 12-5, and the Packers would sneak in as the 7 seed at 10-6-1. The Lions would be at 10-7. Or if the Lions win that game, they would be the 3 seed and win that division at 11-6. and the Bears would be the 7th seed at 11-6. So a huge difference for both of those teams, all three of those teams, mind you, just based off that one game.
So did you have Chicago beating Packers second time around?
I did not pick that game. Just because I thought, I just laid it out. No matter what it would be, it would just be, it would be nuts. It's either Detroit is the 8th seed or the 3 seed. Detroit or Chicago is the 2 or the 7, or the Packers are the 7 or out. I mean, that's a huge difference for all of those teams. So, just a nuts scenario there.
In this scenario, I have 2 teams represented from the north here. I have the Packers winning the division, 13-3-1, 6-0 in the division. We have the game, you win, you're in. Week 18, Chicago against Detroit. For a win, you're in. They're both sitting at the same exact record at 10-6 at this moment. I have the Detroit Lions winning that game. They're on the road, but I think they will be tested good for this game. I just like Matt Campbell against this Chicago Bear team for his final laugh in the face at Ben Johnson. So the Lions sneak in there at the 7th seed with a 11-6 record, 3-3 in the division, and Chicago being the 9th seed at 10-7.
Wow, so the Bears missing the playoffs in that scenario. Heartbreaker season again for Bears fans in Gav's scenario, but not in mine. But anyway, NFC East now. This is pretty straightforward for me. I have the Eagles at the Eagles at the 3 seed at 11-6. Sorry, I had a little frog in my throat there. And the Cowboys missing the playoffs there at 9-7-1. Just barely missing it.
I have the Eagles at the 3 seed at 11-6 with a 4-2 record in the division. And I have the Cowboys just missing the playoffs, where the tie does not help them, as the 8 seed at 10-6-1.
It's kind of what my scenario is for the Packers here, with the tie.
Hurt them.
Definitely does not help you. It's gonna definitely come into play, which is it's gonna be really interesting one way or another.
It is.
And then the NFC South, the last division here, which could come down to the last week. I don't have it coming down to the last week personally.
I did.
I have the Bucs at the 4 seed at 11-6, and the Panthers at 8-9 as the 10 seed.
So I had the Bucs winning the division at 10-7 because they were both if they would have had the same record they were both 9-7 entering this game. Yeah, they were both 9-7 entering this game. And I had them split, actually. I had the first time around, Carolina won. In Week 18, when it mattered most, I had the Bucs win with Baker Mayfield. 10-7, 4-2 in the division for the Bucs at the 4 seed, and then we have Carolina at the 10 seed at 9-8, 4-2 in the division.
Great stepping stone season for the Panthers. Hopefully next year, maybe they can get into that and take over that division from the Bucs. It might be that time for that division to start kind of changing a little bit there. But regardless, that's our playoffs right there.
Let's go through.
Run through the NFC real quick. My 1 seed is the 49ers at 13-4. 2 seed is the Bears at 12-5. 3 seed is the Eagles at 11-6. 4 seed is the Bucs at 11-6. And then we get the Rams at the 5 seed, 13-4, followed by the Seahawks at 13-4 as the 6 seed, and then your Packers at the 7 seed at 10-6-1.
Right.
Depends on. I have the Bears. I had them slotted in to win that game. Just tie goes to the home team, I guess. But if it was the Lions in that scenario, it would look completely different. So just know that.
All right. So for the 1 seed, I have the Rams at 14-3. 2 seed, I have the Green Bay Packers at 13-3-1. I have the 3 seed as the Eagles as 11-6. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 10-7 at the 4 seed, followed by Seattle at the 5 seed at 13-4, and then San Francisco at the 6th seed at 12-5, and the Detroit Lions sneaking at the 7th seed at 11-6.
Love it. Before we move on to our Week 15 predictions, who is your Week 18 Sunday night prediction for that game?
I think it will be the Detroit Lions and Chicago Bears to see when you're in, lose, you're out.
I love it. I have the Ravens and Steelers game. The more and more that we go through these weeks, I think that game in my scenario, you would have to play the Packers game and the Bears and Lions game at the same time. I'm pretty sure in that scenario because of the implications with both the teams, and you don't want like the Bears to lose on purpose because it would just get the Lions,
okay.
or whatever it would be. But you would probably, in my scenario at least, you would have to have both those games at the same time, leading it to either be the LA Denver game, which both those teams would be in, so it's kind of not as anticlimactic as the game I chose, which is Baltimore Pittsburgh, because it's winning in. It's Tomlin's records on the line.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers potentially his last game. The Ravens in this comeback storyline of a season where, the first game on Sunday Night Football, they lost on a last. It's all setting up for that in my head. I know that's how the storylines work with it. So that's my prediction for the Week 18 game.
All right.
I've been pretty solid, I think, I predicted that Colts-Texans one a few years ago. I think I predicted that Lions-Packers one as well. I'm not sure if I predicted that Bills-Dolphins one. But anyway, that's my prediction for the Week 18 Sunday game.
All right. Let's move on now to the Week 15 picks, where we will start on Thursday night in Tampa Bay with the Falcons coming to town. Who you got in this one?
I got the Bucs in this one. I just see that the Bucs continue their streak, and like I said, I have them as the 4 seed in the playoffs, and this is the first start to that. I
agree. I also go with the Bucs here as well. Next game we have Lamar Jackson and the Ravens visiting Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Who do you have in this one? I
have the Ravens in this one. This is one of our first swing games of the week. Not to spoil your pick, but it's one of our first. We have a lot of swing games this week.
And I'm only up by one.
And I have the Ravens in this one. I just believe in that team. I think that the Bengals are just a worse team. Their defense is not as good, and I think that Ravens offense is getting going right now, and it's really going to be apparent against that Bengals defense.
I think the Ravens defense is fraudulent, and I think what Joe Burrow did last week gave me enough to pick them over the Ravens.
It'll be high scoring. Let's just say that.
Which is weird for the AFC North.
Very weird. Very weird. Not their brands of football, too. Raiders at Eagles is the next game. Kind of an interesting matchup right here. I have the Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles need a big bounce back week or weeks at this point.
Yeah.
So I have Saquon having a good game. Give me the Eagles here.
Cardinals at Texans is the next one. This should be a Monday night game, if anything. Yeah. It seems like it would be. But I have the Texans at home taking this one.
I do too. I think that defense is too good for how bad Jacoby played last week.
Chargers at Chiefs in this one at Arrowhead. I could see a scenario where the Chiefs win this game, but I don't think so, especially if Justin Herbert, who still is questionable up to this point.
Yeah.
But if he does play, I think the Chargers win that game.
I do too. I think the Chargers will go in. I think what made this pick easier for me was seeing how handily the Texans won that game. So I think what helped me make that decision was that. So give me the Chargers. Just got to pray that Herbert is ready to go again.
Bills at Patriots, huge game. One of the games of the week this week, if not the game of the week.
Yeah.
I'm going to have my Bills win this game in Foxborough.
There's a lot of things leading up to this game. We have the Bills' final push to win the AFC East, because if they lose this game, they're officially out of the playoff race for the division. And with the Patriots here, you're sitting at 11-2 after 14 weeks, and you're the underdog in this game. The Bills are favored to win in every single gambling sportsbook that I have checked. And I saw an interview where they asked Stephon Diggs about this, and he said, "Good, we got an edge on our shoulders. We got the chip." You know what? I think this is going to be another week where Stephon Diggs just proves why Buffalo should never let him go. Give me the Patriots here, which would finish the Bills' dreams of the division.
They're underdogs for a reason. Go Bills. That's all I'm going to say. Jets at Jags is the next game.
Give me the Jags.
Yeah, give me the Jags, too. I just don't.
They're rolling.
Tyrod Taylor, I love the guy. Can't do it, man. He can't do it. He got hurt last week, too.
He did, yeah.
Hopefully he's okay. Commanders at Giants is the next one. And in surprising fashion, actually, here, this is a swing game.
Yeah,
didn't really expect this one to be. And two teams that had, worse seasons than they wanted to. A lot of injuries for both these teams at the bottom of the NFC East. I'm going to have the Giants win this game, actually. I think that I did not like what I saw even with Jaden Daniels on the field out of the Commanders the last few weeks, or without him on the field the last few weeks. And I'm not saying I love what the Giants are doing. Not saying I love what the Giants are doing, but it's one of these scenarios where I think they have to win a game at some point, and I'm going to have them win this week.
I think the Giants just find a way to lose in giant fashion, and I think that it's going to be same kind of story this week. So I'm going to take the Commanders, hopefully led by Marcus Mariota. That's who I want to see under the pocket for this one. So Give me the Commanders in this game.
Browns at Bears in Chicago. Big one here. Shedeur Sanders will be probably starting the rest of the season for the Cleveland Browns. Interesting thing there for Kevin Stefanski to announce. I have the Chicago Bears winning this game and extending their division lead right now.
Who's division lead?
Well, they're going to extend their division lead.
Okay. But
because of a pick I have later.
I know, but they don't currently have that division
But they're
lead.
going to extend the division lead.
Okay.
Will they not?
Well,
Based on my predictions, will they not?
We'll get into that in a little bit. I just hate hearing that team in that scenario. Let's go Browns. All right, let's go frickin' Browns. Dog pound, baby. Let's go. Shedeur Sanders, I hope you raise your left wrist probably 8 times. I hope that Myles Garrett find a way to get to Caleb. You know, if you're going to break the sack record, do it in this game. That would make me the happiest man on the planet. I can tell you that for free. Let's go Browns, but I do have the Bears.
Panthers at Saints, a big one in the NFC South. The Saints with a big upset win for the Panthers.
That was huge.
Against the Bucs last week. Panthers were on a bye. The only thing they really wanted was a Saints win, and they got it.
Yeah.
And then this week, they're playing the Saints. They don't want that favor returned to them, so I'm going to have the Panthers win that game.
I think the Panthers know what's at stake for the rest of the season, and they have the same exact record as the Bucs, and they know that they control their own destiny.
Play them twice.
So I think that with that pressure, they're going to live up to the expectations, and they're going to beat the Saints.
Lions at Rams, the Stafford Bowl, Golf Bowl, whatever you want to call
They
it.
play every year, man. I mean, it made that game a lot more. It made it, though, a lot less meaningful than what it used to.
Yeah.
But I still love the game every year.
Fair. It's just how it works out. I mean, they both win their division. They're both good teams. Honestly, we need to talk about it. That is one of the most even trades in NFL history.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But I have the Rams in this one, extending to that Bears division lead right there.
Oh my God. I also have the Rams. Gladly, give me Staff. Give me Puka Nacua, who is having one hell of a run right now. Devontae Adams. Hey, your guy Blake Corum got in the end zone last week. Everybody was.
Twice.
Everybody was
45 points
touched.
last week against the Cardinals. Their offense.
They're
is rolling, and Kyron Williams on a snap restriction right now too, which is why Blake Corum is getting so many touches. But
he looked good.
That they're kind of resting guys right now, getting ready for this playoffs, and potentially, my scenario, they're not the 1 seed, but even if they aren't, they're still going to be rested like they are. I think so. I'm excited to see the Rams in that game.
Yeah, we both got
at
the Rams
home,
here.
though.
Yeah.
At home, not in Detroit this time.
Finally, not in Detroit.
LA.
Yeah.
In LA.
Yeah, next game, we have what we both feel bad. All right? I'm going to say that before we enter this conversation. We feel horrible for Colts fans, okay? But we also don't know, especially right now, if they might not win another game for the rest of the season, let's be honest.
And I have some breaking news from a minute ago from Adam Schefter, and it is about this team that we're talking about right now. It says, sounds like Phillip Rivers is tracking to start Sunday at Seattle.
Oh.
And with that, it will reinforce both of our picks
Yep.
as the Seattle Seahawks, who the last 2 weeks for me in the Bonnaball Fantasy League have scored north of 28 points. They scored 28 points and 32 points the last 2 weeks. They have been balling. That's not going to stop this week, especially against the only thing that can stop them. The only thing that can stop them is Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
That's it. Right? That won't happen, right? Right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. The way that he's playing right now, he's still playing really good, but nothing else with that team. The offense is just not rolling, and especially the passing game, obviously, like it was the last few weeks. And with that news from Adam Schefter right there,
furthers both of our points to pick the Seahawks here.
It's got to be the Seahawks this week.
And now we are moving on to a game.
Super Bowl rematch from the 90s.
Anyways, we just talked about, game of the week earlier. Let's bring in this to the conversation as well.
It's definitely in the conversation.
We have a team that's on a 4-game win streak, and we have a team that's on a 9-game win streak. Battle of win streaks here, all right? In Mile High, my Green Bay Packers go to visit Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. I will let you cover this one first.
I'm going to have the Broncos winning this game at home. They're a good home team. They're a good team in
6-0
general.
at home.
Good team in general. And I think that defense matches up very well with that Packers offense. Unfortunately for you, because their corners are really good. Obviously, you got to kind of exploit Riley Moss a little bit. I think he's one of the most penalized corners, if not the most penalized corner in the league. But that defense still, regardless, Nick Bonito, Pat Surtain, all those guys flying around and playing great defense. I'm going to have the Broncos winning this game and extending the Bears' lead in that division.
Oh, my God. Can we drop it? Can we drop it?
No, it's done. No, it's done.
Wow. You just got me more fired up to make this pick right here.
I had to get it in there.
There's one thing that they got to do when they enter Sunday, and I say it every week, but I'm bringing it right back to the conversation. Charlie, what do they have to do? They have to wake up with some hot goddamn piss, baby. Hot piss. You know, this game, what is it going to be? It's going to be, if you win this game, whoever wins this game played all 3 phases of football. Not just one, not just 2, but all 3.
Sorry, but I could see this being like a 23-21 last second field goal type game. Like, down 21-20. This would be in the same prediction too. Down 21-20. I'm not saying which team necessarily. I guess in this scenario it'd be the Packers have the ball and give it up back to the Broncos within the 2-minute drill. And I think the Broncos maybe go down or whatever team goes down and kicks that field goal.
I would like
to win that game. Wouldn't that be like that seems like a plausible scenario,
it does.
Right?
But I would like it more if Brandon McManus kicks the
against
game
his former team.
Yeah, exactly.
In
Storylines.
his former stadium.
That's why I'm glad, because this is a game where you like to have Brandon McManus, because he kicked in that stadium for years. Very excited for this game. Shout out to Andrew Durr. Huge game for the two of us. We don't see this matchup too often, so I'm very excited for this.
Will you be watching it with Andrew Durr?
The goal is to be watching it with Andrew Durr.
That's the goal. Okay.
I have to talk to CFO, who's probably currently listening right now. I have to talk to him about that first.
Shout out to the CFO. Go Bills.
I mean, all I got to say.
Looking forward to that weekly text from you after, whether it be negative or positive about the Bills.
But nonetheless, Packers have to wake up with some hot piss. They're playing a great defense, a great home team. They're 6-0 at home. But I do love Jordan Love in Toyotathon. The last time they played the Broncos, they lost. That was also in Mile High. I think Jordan Love finds a way to calm himself down, throw off that back foot, which is a beautiful ball. Find Christian Watson a couple times. Have Josh Jacobs carry that rock a lot. Give me the Green Bay Packers, baby. Go Pack, go.
3 games left for this week. Titans at Niners is the next one. Let's get through this one.
Niners.
Going with the Niners. Titans are terrible. Vikings at Cowboys. This will not help the Bears in any fashion in this one. I'm going to let the Cowboys win.
I also have the Cowboys. We always seem to way to bring the Bears back into this conversation today. It's kind of firing me up right now. But give me the Cowboys here.
Interestingly enough, I said it before, but we have 5 swing games, and right now we've only said 4. So 1 game left for this week. Dolphins at Steelers. And I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to pick against one of my pick 4, one of my least favorite teams. I'm going to pick the Miami Dolphins in this game. They're hot right now. They're underrated hot right now. And I think the Steelers are at a point where, they're kind of falling back a little bit. This is a game where I think that both these teams are meeting at the wrong time. Almost any other week, I think I would have the Steelers winning this game. But I think the trajectory of both these teams, and then after this game, I think it goes downhill for the Dolphins and upwards for the Steelers. Besides that last game for the Steelers, but regardless, that would have them on a trajectory to potentially win the division still. But before that, I have the Dolphins win this game this week.
The Dolphins are on a 4-game win streak as well. They were 2-7. Now they are 6-7. Anyways, the Steelers, if this game was in Miami, I might be on the same wavelength with you. But, Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh at Acrisure Stadium.
I know, but they've played a few in the last. They just played the Bills. I don't know. I feel like when you get a few in a row, and I've seen this with the Bills, it dies down a little bit, the excitement of those games, and I think that maybe just with them sliding to that extra day might not help them. That's all
I understand that, yeah. But I'm going to go with the reigning Week 14 MVP and Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to have him go out there. I think the reason why I'm truly picking the Steelers is because they have weeks where their defense wakes up. I think this could definitely be the week. I think they match up pretty well against the Dolphins, especially with Tyreek still being out for the rest of the season. I know it's hard to stop Achane. It's really hard. But I feel like that's the defensive line that could do it if we're going just purely this week. So
yep,
I'm going to take the Steelers here
totally
to further their division.
Whatever. That's their the 5th swing game of the week for us, and the last game of the week for us. And the last game that we'll pick on air for the semester, unfortunately, and for season 6. So once again, thank you guys for sticking with us throughout this season, the past seasons, and for the future ones as well. Thank you guys. Gavin, you got anything?
Go Pack, go.
stay tuned. We still have 2 more episodes for this season, but for the NFL, this will be it for this season. Stay tuned for season 7. And as always, thank you guys and have a day.
Have a day.